This exercise is going to start with the drawing of 10 lines. As you draw each line, think about what varies the quality of the line. So consider the idea of how you hold the implement. Holding the implement right at the very end. How you address the paper. The rigidity with which you make the mark. The speed that you make the line. So you've made 10 lines. Now start to think about making a drawing of the drawing that you've done. This time changing the implement that you draw with. Look really carefully at the line that you've drawn and think about its quality, its direction. Now do the same again, changing implements one more time. And now draw the last line that you've just drawn. So in this exercise what we've looked at is a very simple thing. How the movement of the arm, the movement of the wrist, the control or the hesitancy that we use over the line can then be a starting point for further development. As we notice the idiosyncrasies of each line, that becomes increasingly exaggerated. And as we change from a very, very fine linear implement to a broader medium, like marker, like the brush, and then we return back to something like a pencil, we begin to magnify those idiosyncrasies more until we arrive at a kind of visual distortion. For the next exercise, we're now going to start to think about the visual possibilities of layering these drawings. So what happens if we start to draw a line that we made on row 1? With a drawing that we then made on row 3. A row 1 drawing, and a row 3 drawing. Of course, what we can think about is that we can start to cross-pollinate. So a row 1 drawing here. The drawings underneath that are all iterations of this drawing. But what happens if we change it to a different position? Also, as we start to make our drawings, do we also build into those drawings more variation through the quality of line, or the way that we hold the implement? So if that was row 1 and 3, what happens if we start to combine row 5 and 4? If we start with 4, draw into that with 1. And we might draw back into that with 5. What we're fundamentally doing is we're creating a very simple rule for ourselves. The idea of drawing a line and redrawing the line. The idea of configuring those lines differently together and seeing what happens. Of course, we could also think about changing colour in terms of using a different colour ink or different colour of marker. We could use the same elements in different ways, but it's about kind of developing visual outcomes from a very simple starting point.